Hey guys, and welcome to the Working Money channel. So this one here from Subjective Views, the IMF director, accept reality, fiat money is moving digital. Guys, this is the reality of the new financial system. This is Kristalina Georgieva, and she's stating it flat out. The monetary system is changing in real time. And fiat money's not going anywhere, but guys, it's all moving to stable coins. Listen to this.
But generally, you tell them to embrace it?
I'm telling countries, accept reality. Fiat money is moving digital. The developments in crypto, both unbacked and backed, they're happening with exponential speed. So yeah, you can try to lock your country away from this. Good luck with it. So yes, I'm telling my members, understand it and then decide for yourself how you're going to operate in this world. But do not close your eyes to reality.
The reality being fiat money is going the way of the dodo, and all money is moving into, digitized assets, including stablecoins. It's interesting because they don't say anything other than it's moving digital. I mean, if we, look at the concept of the tokenization of everything, it could just be that value is going to move into other formats. So not, a representation of the dollar or the euro or the yen or whatever. It could change in that, maybe we own fractions of a piece of gold, and that's how we look at money. It's moving digital. So there's no elaboration on this. We're all assuming it's going to be a stable coin. But, if confidence is eroding in fiat currencies and not just one particular fiat currency, many fiat currencies, this could be our new reality. So I wanted to thank Subjective Views for that. It's interesting because Donald Trump is fighting back tooth and nail. Chad Steingraber posting this. And now we bring on the U.S. digital dollar. BRICS is dead. Laura Ingraham with this original tweet here, guys. The president of the United States wants to keep the U.S. dollar strong. And if any member country from the BRICS nations want to trade with the United States, well, Donald Trump's got a plan for that.
I like the dollar. I'm very strong on the dollar. And anybody who wants to deal in dollars, they have an advantage over people that aren't. But for the most part, we're keeping it that way. I think if Biden would have, that group would have gotten elected, meaning Kamala, you wouldn't have the dollar as your currency anymore. You wouldn't have a world domination by the dollar if I didn't win this election. And now the domination, like BRICS. I told anybody who wants to be in BRICS, that's fine, but we're going to put tariffs on your nation. Everybody dropped out. They're all dropping out of BRICS. BRICS was an attack on the dollar. And I said, you want to play that game, I'm going to put tariffs on all of your product coming into the U.S. They said, like I said, we're dropping out of BRICS. And BRICS is like, they don't even talk about it anymore.
I had to do a bit of research on that, and as of now, we have not seen any countries drop out of BRICS. That is just Donald Trump being Donald Trump, but, it could happen, definitely. An interesting plan, though, coming from the president of the United States. Obviously, maintaining U.S. dollar dominance is super important for the U.S. and countries that trade in U.S. dollars. Well, guys, we also have this coming up too, ISO 20022. Remember, the deadline is just over 1 month away, November 22nd, 2025. An unknown DLT posting this, BNY Mellon has confirmed the implementation of ISO 20022. Remember, BNY Mellon is a Ripple partner. All cross-border payments will be exchanged exclusively in the ISO 20022 format. It is likely that they will adopt DLT this year, as Swift and DTC have said. If this happens, the utility market will begin this year for XRP. And if you guys didn't catch the video I did this morning, and there was one I did yesterday. I'm going to post this morning's video up here in the top right-hand corner. So here is the update. This is just from this month. ISO 20022 update, formatting for cross-border payments in ISO 20022 messages. So the Swift community is approaching a significant milestone. It is ISO 20022 migration, which will be the conclusion of the coexistence period from FinMT, to the payment ISO 20022 messaging system. And guys, the final day, November 22nd, 2025, all cross-border payments must be exchanged exclusively in the ISO 20022 format. And they've been pushing back that deadline. But guys, this is a hard deadline now. Remember, Smoke posting this Standard Charter podcast confirms that the November 2025 ISO 20022 deadline is final.
That harmonization. But I think there's definitely some learnings from that time. One, originally around, I guess, the deadline. The deadline moved, and with that, it was very difficult working with clients to get them to move to the new standard. As soon as a deadline moves once, people think it's going to move again. And I know we've heard that also on CBPR Plus. No, the deadline in November is not moving. It is a hard fixed date. Unless somebody knows something I don't know. But it did move originally, and actually clients really struggled to get to that deadline. It meant a lot of change for them in their systems, not something that could just be done by flicking a switch in the 6-month period. So I think the key learning for us, and particularly as we move to getting our corporates moving onto the ISO standard post-November, client engagement is really crucial, understanding the time frame that it takes for them to change their systems and working with them around specifications and testing with them to make sure that it really works end to end for them.
So that's a hard deadline, a fixed deadline. November is not moving anywhere. And you guys can hear from this podcast here that there are reasons for that now. We have been hearing that the deadline has been pushed for a while, but this is it. And I think a lot of countries around the world are realizing how serious this is. And this is why we're seeing advancements in, not just cross-border remittance services, but also different types of financial services from many different countries in continents like Africa. BD here posting this. Ripple Custody has launched in Africa, partnering with a major South African bank. This is on the heels of Reese Merrick's tweet here. Ripple Custody has arrived officially in Africa, guys. Having spent time in South Africa earlier in my career, it holds a special place in my heart. So I'm delighted we're bringing institutional-grade digital asset custody to one of the nation's leading banks. Guys, Ripple is expanding global custody into Africa with Absa Bank. Ripple, of course, is the leading provider of digital asset infrastructure. And today they just announced, yesterday they announced a strategic partnership with Absa Bank to provide digital asset custody to the bank's customers in South Africa. Through this partnership, Absa will leverage Ripple's institutional-grade digital asset custody technology to deliver scalable and secure storage for tokenized assets, including cryptocurrencies. Absa is one of Africa's leading financial institutions and becomes Ripple's first major custody partner in Africa. So the partnership is a result of the growing demand for secure, compliant digital asset infrastructure across emerging markets. Ripple's expanding global custody network now includes clients across Europe, the Middle East, Asia Pacific, Latin America, and Africa, supporting financial institutions as they embrace the opportunities presented by digital asset technologies. So they're really kind of nailing all these regions of the world, all these different continents. And they pretty much, Middle East is not a continent, but they do have a strong presence in many of these continents. I mean, the last one is really North America, and we do have some advancements there too. Here's a quote, guys. Africa is expecting a major shift in how value is stored and exchanged, and our partnership with Absa underscores Ripple's commitment to unlocking the potential of digital assets on the continent. That's coming from Ripple's managing director in the Middle East and Africa. As one of the most respected and innovative banks in Africa, Absa has a strong track record of innovation and leadership, and we're proud to support its digital asset ambitions with the most secure and compliant custody infrastructure on the market. As regulatory clarity around alternative investments increases across Africa, institutional interest in blockchain-based solutions is rising, and Ripple's infrastructure enables financial institutions like Absa to confidently explore new digital asset offerings while meeting strict security, operational, and regulatory requirements. So boom goes the dynamite. We are seeing this now occurring in South Africa. This is extending Ripple's existing operations on the continent. Of course, we did hear about the Africa-based payment provider Chipper Cash, and they are enabling USD-backed stablecoin RLUSD in Africa. So we already have a foothold in there when it comes to the XRP ledger and implementing RLUSD utilization. So that's great news. And even just with regards to this, some more highlights marking institutional-grade digital asset custody entering the African market. So highlights serious intent from major African banks to adopt digital assets. Guys, Ripple is working tooth and nail to really get a lot of this stuff. This is kind of like the last mile, trying to really implement all this stuff and be set up to do this at scale in the coming years. And so, here we're seeing the building blocks. Here we're seeing custody arriving in Africa. And this is just another part of their expansion plan. So wanted to thank Reese Merrick, of course, BD, Bull Dieppe, Smoke, Unknown DLT, Chad Steingraber, and Subjective Views for posting those. Bill Morgan with another interesting tidbit here. Weebus just filed a press release with the SEC, guys. It announces plans to establish a tokenized travel reward exchange platform integrating XRP stablecoin settlements to enhance cross-border reward redemption and value conversion across the loyalty industry. So tokenization travel rewards, guys. This is the latest here from Weebus. We know Weebus did establish an XRP treasury, although one may readily understand how this will involve integration with the XRPL. There is no mention of the role of XRP itself. Well, we know Weebus is holding XRP. I'm sure it's going to be integrated in this somehow. The announcement identifies the real-world use, so to improve liquidity, transparency, and interoperability between airlines, hotels, and reward ecosystems. And it's because this ecosystem is fragmented, $20 billion loyalty management market. And this, running on the XRPL will solve this problem. So Weebus, obviously understanding that there is a problem to be solved here. Grandview Research and Markets.com is part of this, aiming to improve liquidity, transparency, and interoperability, as I mentioned, by combining blockchain-based tokenization with the stability and efficiency of XRP. Weebus seeks to enable travelers to exchange, redeem, and utilize their rewards seamlessly across multiple brands and regions in real time. Here's a quote from their chief executive officer. The global loyalty market is large but highly fragmented. Our goal is to build a unified tokenized reward exchange that unlocks real liquidity and simplifies global redemption. By integrating XRP stablecoin settlement, we aim to bring real-time, low-cost, and transparent value conversion to the travel rewards ecosystem. So you could only imagine what this is going to look like when all of these, think about all the types of travel rewards that do exist, and think of how they're all kind of working in their own ecosystem. Now, think of the possible partnerships some of these companies can have with one another. If you're a hotel brand or an airline or a car rental company, well, you can all work together and make this seamless and interoperable. And, one of these examples is running on the XRP ledger, as Weebus is doing here. So interesting news, guys. Wanted to thank Bill for posting that. And Eleanor Turret bringing this up. Apparently, Larry Fink did just recently do an interview yesterday on CNBC, okay? He said BlackRock is moving away from traditional financial assets and making them digital. So he's finally said it. This is happening. Tokenization. He says we can, if we tokenize an ETF, we can have investors who are just beginning to invest in markets through, let's say, crypto, but now we can get them into more traditional long-term retirement products. I'm going to play you guys this clip. Somebody else posted it here. Nick Gerasi, the CEO of the world's largest asset manager, BlackRock, saying this is just the beginning, and we're going to see a heck of a lot more of it in the future.
I do believe we're just at the beginning of the tokenization of all assets, from real estate to equities to bonds across the board.
It's very loud here.
It is very loud.
But it's good. Capital's at work, Larry. You like that.
I love capital at work. Yeah. But there's $4.1 trillion of money in sitting globally in digital wallets. A lot of that money is outside the United States. If we could tokenize a ETF, digitize that ETF, we could have investors who are just beginning to, invest in markets through, let's say, crypto. They're investing in it, but now we could get them into the more traditional long-term retirement products. So we look at that as the next wave of opportunity for BlackRock over the next tens of years, as we start moving away from traditional financial assets by repotting them in a digital manner, and then having people stay in that digital ecosystem. Mm-hmm. They can have their cash, and we have the largest cash money market fund that's tokenized called BITL. Our Bitcoin IBIT is now over $100 billion.
$100 billion, I know, from nothing not that long ago.
And 2 years ago, zero.
Yeah,
so
I know. Well, you weren't always a huge proponent of crypto, as we know.
I love it now. But I grow and learn.
I heard you say that on 60 Minutes.
I did say that.
Yeah, I went from thinking crypto was a scam to being a huge proponent in crypto. I don't know why I'm not surprised about that. Wanted to thank Nick Gerasi for posting that, and of course Eleanor Turret. So as you guys heard here, Larry Fink, bullish on crypto. I also wanted to mention this from Whitney Webb. Now, another piece of this is the fact that Larry Fink now does run the World Economic Forum. I'm not going to read this. I'm going to play you guys this clip of Whitney Webb on Glenn Beck's show. Listen to this.
Larry Fink is now running, I believe, the World Economic Forum. He's acting chairman. And in addition to saying that everything will be tokenized, he's said that everything will soon be on the same universal digital ledger or database, and that everything on that database will have a unique identifier number. So for you as an individual, your identifier number will presumably be your digital ID or directly linked to that. But everything will have a digital ID. The tokenization agenda in particular seeks to tokenize not just assets that we traditionally think of, like real estate, for example, or gold, or physical assets as well as digital assets like Bitcoin. There's a major effort connected with people like Fink, and also people like Mark Carney, who's now Prime Minister of Canada, to tokenize the natural world and transform it into financial assets. And there was an attempt to do this to an extent under the Biden administration, I believe through the Department of Interior, with natural asset corporations, but that has not gone away. And there are groups, for example, one of the creators of the ETF model originally, which BlackRock now owns, iShares. His name is Peter Kenez, I think is how you pronounce it. He's trying to turn the Amazon rainforest into a digital commodity, sort of similar to Bitcoin in terms of like the scarcity idea that each hectare of the Amazon rainforest would represent a token, and then financialize it that way, and then each hectare would then have its unique identifier, right, on the blockchain, and would be serviced by surveillance drones and all sorts of stuff. So even our most like natural, the places we conceptualize as the most natural places on Earth, these people want to come in, place surveillance technology and tokenize it and put it on a blockchain and use it to I would argue in the case particularly of natural asset corporations and the group behind it, the Intrinsic Exchange Group, they just want to open up a huge new asset class. They call it nature's opportunity, so that they can continue engaging in the same type of bad behavior that, for example, brought us the 2008 financial crisis. By quintupling basically the amount of assets currently in play. So apply this now to the phrase that we all heard during the COVID era: "You'll own nothing and be happy." Well, yes. There's certain people that want to own everything, and that includes things that have never been able to be owned before, that were considered things like the public commons, like rivers, lakes, the ocean itself, natural forests, all sorts of it. These people want to put all of that into the financial system, fractionalize it, tokenize it, and sell pieces of it around. Use it to speculate on. I mean, it's very bonkers.
So tokenizing our national parks, could you imagine? It's a pretty crazy claim there from Whitney Webb. I mean, BlackRock is a global investment management company that has a partnership with the World Economic Forum, as probably some of you guys know. And just a few months ago, in August 2025, BlackRock CEO Larry Fink was appointed as the interim co-chair of the WEF, a role that is expected to enhance discussions on global challenges like climate change and inequality. The relationship highlights BlackRock's significant influence in the financial sector and its alignment with the WEF's goals of private-public cooperation and shaping global agendas. And we have Larry Fink, of course, appointed as the co-chairman. This is basically saying the same thing. Private-public cooperation amid global economic shifts. Fink's role is expected to focus on areas like ESG investing and digital assets. So digital assets, of course, playing an important role there, guys. And we know Ripple is part of the World Economic Forum. So when we talk about tokenizing everything on the blockchain, could it be that Whitney Webb has the idea right? We will own nothing. And, it could be that a lot of this will be tokenized on the XRP ledger. Of course, this brings into question XRP price in a speculative market versus a real-world utility market. Today, one XRP is trading for about $2.49. That's going to change, though, once we do see this scale. For now, we trade in spec. Down the road, well, maybe we pivot. And if you guys want to see what I'm doing, you can follow me at patreon.com/workingmoneychannel. Check it out if that's something you're interested in. I also have the Working Money Channel merch store. Link is in the description of the video if you guys are interested in purchasing some Working Money Channel merch. That's just my opinion. I want to hear what you guys think. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like the video if you like the content I'm providing. I always love hearing your comments. See you in the next one, guys.